What is up, everybody? Michael Gardiner here, back again with a daily upload. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the Scaling to Systems Live conference. I've just gotten back and had time to digest all the information, and we're going to jump into, was it worth it? Did I enjoy it? And what did I learn? So let's go ahead and get right into it. So what is Scaling with Systems? Scaling with System is an information-based product that is owned by Ravi Abuvala, who runs two seven-figure yearly companies, a marketing agency, and also a info product company helping agency owners and other B2B businesses scale past six figures. Now, Scaling with Systems Live was a 3-day in-person conference in beautiful Miami, Florida, going over a lot of what Ravi has learned in his business and learned from working with thousands of people. And in this video, I'm going to go over if I enjoyed the event, if I thought it was worth the money, and also my top takeaways from the event. So, did I enjoy the event? Short story, yes. I have paid for coaching, courses, masterminds, conferences, probably close to $50,000 in education, and I can confidently say this was in my top 3 investments, not only for the information, but also the networking there, and also the energy. This event had energy that is going to stay with me for at least 1 week in terms of added motivation, and also the connections at this event were great. One thing I find quite often in business conferences is they draw a lot of beginners, where this event I actually felt like one of the small guys, which was really great to be around people that are farther along than I am. I was also able to see a lot of people in person, which I've only watched on video, which was quite cool. A couple notable names being Ravi, of course, Jeff Seekinger, and also Jeff Miller, who owns Agency Scaling Secrets. A lot of you probably are in his Facebook group. So the networking is absolutely amazing. The information was top notch. The energy was great. And also the location was perfect. Miami is one of the few areas that's actually open for conferences like this. So it was great to go somewhere where you don't have to wear a mask and you can be out in public and just enjoy the people, enjoy the vibes, enjoy the area. So yes, I think it was worth it. I paid $500 for early bird pricing. I know some people paid up to $1,000 or more, and would I happily pay $1,000? Yes, I think it was totally worth it. And I want to go ahead and jump into what exactly were my main takeaways from this event. I spent the money on it. I went and took 16 pages of notes, and I have just taken 1 hour to go through, digest my notes, reformat them, and I want to go over some of my main key takeaways. That way, not only myself benefits from the event, but also you, my audience here on YouTube, can benefit even if you didn't have the opportunity to go. So one of the main things that was emphasized at the event, which is also emphasized at a lot of other masterminds, courses, and conferences, are feedback loops, where you choose an action, perform the action, wait for a reaction, and then measure the response. Now, feedback loops are something that I have been actively trying to use more and more in my businesses and personal life. Now, to dumb it down a bit more, essentially it's when you do anything, measure the result, and then you change based on that. And Ravi made a big emphasis that really his success comes down to not only just having feedback loops, but actually paying attention and making changes based on what he found from these feedback loops. And I find it interesting that a lot of these conferences hit on the same fundamentals over and over again. So if everybody is emphasizing it, it's definitely important. So going forward, I'm going to be trying to pay even more attention to feedback loops in my life. One thing I liked about this conference is there wasn't too much mindset and general business information, which there's nothing wrong about it, but I love tactics. But he did make one emphasis on something that has to do with habits. I know Ravi's a huge believer in a book, The Slight Edge, and this concept really ties into that, and that is activation energy. I already made a YouTube on this, but activation energy is making it as easy as possible to make the right decisions. So putting your clothes out for the gym the night before, or putting alcohol in a locked box, or being around people who are pushing to make better decisions. I find it interesting how this, as well as feedback loops, are something really emphasized by everybody, which truly shows their importance. And it's something that I am doing an audit of my life. I'm trying to see, what am I doing today? What is productive? What is not? And how can I make it easier to do productive things and harder to do the non-productive things? I've actually gone ahead and I've been tracking everything I'm doing today for the next 3 days to figure out where I can implement better ways to use activation energy and to prevent myself from making the wrong choices. Another thing Ravi talked about, unfortunately I can't go over everything I touched on, but I do want to hit on some of the main things that stuck out to me. And one of the things he talked about was the 7-hour rule, which means in order for somebody to actually go ahead and purchase what you're selling, they need to be exposed to 7 hours of your content. And in Ravi's case, it's 6.8 hours from their tracking that someone needs to be exposed to their content before to make a purchase. So one thing that I'm working on implementing directly after this mastermind is not just sending a cold email and continuing to follow up and wait for someone to book a meeting, but doing retargeting, trying to hit them on multiple platforms, just overall being omnipresent. For example, Ravi detailed his customer journey, and it normally looks like this. He emails a stranger, they open an email, click the link. Once they're on that link, they're hit with a pixel, and then they see Instagram retargeting ads. They watch a video sales letter, they book a call, they check out Ravi's YouTube channel from the thank you page, they do a discovery call. The client then reads another pre-call email, they conduct a demonstration call, the potential client calls a referral from the follow-up email, they see a client interview in a Facebook group, and then they get all of their follow-up questions answered and a sale closes. Now that is multiple steps, and I think it shows you how important it is for you not just to do one thing and wait for a client, but try to be more omnipresent. One thing I'm going to start implementing is retargeting ads, as well as adding people who had a meeting with me, no matter at what point, into an ongoing email sequence. One point that Ravi made that I found was really interesting is there's a direct correlation between himself and as well as other notable figures like Gary Vee or Grant Cardone, or even like Graham Stephan, where if you look at Google Trends and you can see the search volume for their name going up, their net worth directly follows that. So Ravi made a big emphasis that attention is currency. This is something I also got very heavily at Grant Cardone's 10X conference. So I found that quite interesting, and it does match what I'm doing with YouTube, that the more eyeballs I have on me, ultimately the more sales it's going to lead to. Even though my YouTube is only 300 subscribers as I'm recording this, I actually had a sales call booked this morning from someone who found me on YouTube. So that was a nice little proof of concept right after what Ravi said at the mastermind. Ravi also had a ton of content on automation and fulfillment, which I think I'm gonna make it my own video on. But those are my main takeaways from the event. Overall, I think it was great. If I have the opportunity to go next year, I certainly will. And I'm also heavily considering joining the Scaling Your Systems Initiative program, which is their high ticket program. I've had multiple friends in it who have done really well. And based on the value I've gotten from a $500 conference, it increases my confidence for joining a high ticket program. So overall, it was great, amazing program. I learned a ton, I met a ton of people, and I will absolutely be going back. If you enjoy this daily entrepreneurial content, go ahead and leave a thumbs up and subscription, as I am posting every day in April, and I'll catch you on tomorrow's video.